I am. So here's a comment. I have a friend who disappeared in a love relationship. On reconnecting, she kept responding with, "I hear you are angry." Do not do that. That is the old active listening crap that does not work. Never has worked, never will work. It's
And
based
it just
on,
triggers us.
it just gets people to. It's based on it's based on psychologist Thomas Gordon's work in the 1950s. He was a professor and mentee of Carl Rogers at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. He came up with a way of listening. He called it active listening. He was the first guy to coin that word in 1956, but his work has been completely misinterpreted and misunderstood. And yet, even though it doesn't work, it's still taught in psychology and therapy schools and mediation schools. I have colleagues of mine at Pepperdine that still teach this skill. I can't believe it. And they will not break out because they don't understand why active listening doesn't work because they haven't done the research. And two, I mean, I don't know. I guess they just teach what they're comfortable with. But active listening doesn't work. Never, ever, ever use an I statement. Here's the way we talk about it in the prison. We talk about, if you can imagine my arms, two train tracks. Here's the speaker's train track. Here's my train track. I want to always listen from the speaker's frame of reference. So I want to be on the speaker's track. If I start using I statements, I'm going to be picking the speaker's locomotive off and putting it onto my track. Now it's my train, not the speaker's train.
Now it has to do all about you instead of the person that you're in the presence of.
It's all about me. And the other reason that people use I statements is because they're afraid of the vulnerability and intimacy that using a you statement creates between you and your partner. And so they will use an I statement as a self-protective passive voice mechanism to soothe themselves. All wrong.
And there's the way that we're formulating and creating this whole 5 webinar series is each module that we're teaching gives you the skill set to be able to affect label. So you cultivate awareness of your needs, meeting responsibility inside, holding responsibility for your needs, cultivating more self-love, self-worth, more self-confidence. That enables you to then do the affect labeling. So right now today, if you're like, I can't do this. Well, today, maybe not, but just start affect labeling yourself with I am feeling, but go ahead.
The way to practice this is to not do this on your partners. I mean, I see that we've got couples in here and you guys could probably practice. If you're here together and you've got it, you can practice. Just role play like Alay and I did. Just make stuff up and practice. But the best way to practice this is to go to Starbucks. And when you're ordering, or any coffee house, and whenever you're ordering your coffee, you hand your credit card to the barista, say, "Hey, you look really happy today. Hey, you look really happy today." Smile and watch. And you're going to get a reaction. I'm not going to tell you what the reaction is. You're going to have to go figure it out for yourself. And you just do this day after day after day. And you do it at Starbucks, you do it at Sprouts or Whole Foods checkout, you do it at the restaurant to the server, you affect label the server one emotion. And you do this 10, 15, 20, 30 times until you start seeing the same reaction over and over again. And then all of a sudden you start to build confidence. Hey, this really does work. People really love to have their emotions listened to. It's not rude, it's not weird. They love it. And then you start doing it on some friends. And then you can slowly move it into your relationship.
And you can affect label positive emotions. Absolutely.
Right. And you can always do positive emotions.
And you can affect label your pets and your children.
That's right. Questions. Do we always go in that order? No, you go in the order of whatever presents. So maybe somebody's really anxious. You'd start with anxiety. Or maybe they're really sad. You'd start with sadness.
But we might not go right to abandonment and feeling unloved.
No, that's that one you got to be careful about. What happens if someone is still really angry? You keep affect labeling until, well, my rule is this: you affect label for 90 seconds. And if they aren't calmed down in 90 seconds, then you got to drop it. Now, as you get better at it, you can stick it with it longer. I've affect labeled for as long as 5 or 10 minutes before. But in the beginning, go for 90 seconds. And if it's not working, just stop and give it a break. Partly it's just skill level. It's getting the skill level developed. But eventually they will calm down. They cannot help themselves. When you really master affect labeling, you will calm any angry person. You will stop fights and arguments forever in your life. You will never have a fight or argument in your life again.